covered by the starlight. It's alright. Come on, come If I can't be with you, I'd rather be by myself. No, I can't lie. I don't want anybody else. Those happy days that we once knew, so long ago, they still make me blue. I want you right now. If I could show you somehow how much you mean to me. If you could only see. Baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you all to myself. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. The way I do. Yeah. The way I do. Yeah. I lose myself when I think about you. I search within and I want you to find me. I want you right now. If I could show you somehow how much you mean to me. If you could only see. Baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you all to myself. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. Baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you all to myself. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. The way I do. Yeah. The way I do.
What's going on, gamers? It's an exciting day to be playing video games. Daniel, we're slightly less large now. Check this out.
I'm still horrified by all this.
I
but
can
okay,
do this
great,
on
go ahead.
command.
Also, you said you look bad. I was like, TJ, I don't know if we're doing cams today because I look pretty crappy. And you're like, you look great. And I'm like, I'm the one who looked bad. I'm like,
Yeah, well,
don't
I
see it,
I
TJ.
put some in my hair because it was all like mopped over the front. I don't know.
Your hair was slightly off. Meanwhile, I have like 8 rings under my eyes. I'm just like, I don't
Well,
even
I
know
have
what's
that.
going on right
Look
now.
at these dark circles. Look at that. Do you see that?
Oh my god, TJ.
That's a dark circle. It's
Age-
just because I'm looking head on into the camera. You can't tell.
Age 10 years and tell me about dark circles under your eyes. Like
I have in the last week. I've aged 10 years.
You know the SpongeBob memes where like suddenly it's really grotesque SpongeBob and like it's just out of control.
Tell me
That's
about
basically
this.
Me. That's the.
Oh, don't tell me about that.
That's a different bracket. Yeah, I don't want to tell you. I could tell you about a bracket, a tournament that we did in the past.
That was like a
Sure,
month
fine.
ago. Holy shit. Hold up. Hang on. And
Also, do you like
paste
my lighting?
link.
I just have the sun in my face from the side.
I really do like it
nothing
because
on this
there's
side.
like a crusty edge to your green screen right here.
Did you just call me crusty?
I absolutely did. Tell me about this.
Damn it, TJ. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, we have a challenge, as I like to call it. And we have our in-house tournament consisting of 4 teams, and they drafted again, I'm assuming. We didn't talk about this, but I'm assuming that they did that thing again.
Yeah.
And yeah. And so it's basically an in-house tournament by IraqiZorro, and they've made their teams. They're Team Amumu, Camille, Akali, and Ash. We're going to be watching, I believe, Ash versus Camille. And Team Ash is IraqiZorro, Rekt, Zello, Meals, and Sark, whereas Team Camille is Tybe, Molly, Hitman, Kansui, and Jack. And just to fill out our teams, Amumu is Selma, starting Zio, Chomp, and Asami. And then Team Akali is Sly, Deceived, Black Camel, Soji Rain, and Alui. I never know how to say that guy's name, Alui.
So we have a lot of the best players in North America, which is the most exciting thing about this tournament. It's just straight up the best players, and they're mucking about on mixed teams to that they've just drafted right now. They just ran a captain's draft, and so they built their teams, and they've never played with each other before. And we're going to commentate them, get some practice in on casting, and the finished VODs will be up on my YouTube channel. So if any of the players are watching this and they're like, oh no, TJ has his VODs private on Twitch, that is true, but you don't need to subscribe to me to see them. You can find the VODs if you want them on the YouTube.
It's okay, TJ's just greedy. He wants that subscriber money.
I just
that Amazon Prime Jeff Bezos money.
I have to, because I get DMs and they're like, I can't believe you're not letting the gamers watch their VODs, you awful human being.
Yeah.
And I have to,
because
they're
you're
up,
greedy.
they're there.
You're greedy for that Jeff Bezos money.
No, it's because when you typed esports TJ into Google, the first thing that came up was a clip of me eating a banana as sexually as possible from my Twitch channel, which is very funny, but not what I want to happen when people type my name into Google.
So you paywalled it. They can
Yes,
still see it,
so
but
I
now they're going to give you money.
Well, if they're paying for the privilege.
Then that's different.
Welcome to Draft. It's time for game number 1. Do you see how fancy my graphics are? I took some time today. Not a lot of time, like 10 minutes, but I took some time and I set it all up.
I wish I could do something like this in 10 minutes. You make me jealous.
Our bands are, let me check, Katarina, Evelyn, Camille, and Ziggs.
Okay. I guess not a whole lot has changed as far as that's concerned, bands-wise.
Okay. Is that the extent of the analysis?
Oh, sorry. It's just like it's the same bands we've seen for like a month now. I don't know.
Oh,
like
okay,
Camille,
you're right.
good. Katarina, good. Ziggs, good. I don't know. That's basically what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, character's good. As far as the picks go, Fiora is an interesting one. That pretty much dedicates this team to having a split push presence. Also, Lee Sin, Kai'Sa. These are all best of ones, so any adaptations are being done off of previous match history, nothing more.
Yeah. Also, people trying. It seems like there's a lot of pet picks here. Like I think that Zello, for instance, really likes to be on that Fiora. So he's sort of like, screw you guys, I'm going on Fiora. See you guys later. I'm gonna go and be off until the end right now.
Oh my god. We got the Tristana Braum combo? I've been waiting for more people to do this. Because the
Explain. Go ahead, yeah.
Tristana, of course, has a really high rate of fire once you get late game. So she pretty much instantly procs the Winter's Bite, and then you're stunned in range of her autos, so she just stacks like 16 bombs on you and you insta-die. It's really gross.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana late game doesn't need really 16 bombs. It's more like 3 and then you're dead. But okay, sure. The issue that you said there is late game, right? Because she needs to get to that late game. Typically, you see the only time I've ever seen Tristana actually work.
Tristana Braum is also really scary in the early laning, because she'll just do that combo to you.
Right. Yeah, but it's like a combo. If the combo doesn't work, my issue is if the combo doesn't like go off, you're basically kind of like left without anything going for you. But yeah, the only time I've ever seen Tristana, can you stop? The only time I've ever seen Tristana work is when the Tristana player was able to like AFK farm for the entire game, and then late game they were a beast. But it's like it's because they let her alone the entire time. So every other time I've seen Tristana, she's lost.
I think everything else about this, I like. I'm looking at the Akali and trying to work out where that's going on the overall map. As we do get into
Well, they have
game.
Diana, right? Yeah, they have Diana. So Akali and Diana, they could split that up, but it looks like they're going Akali versus the Fiora. And I like that. Good old Hitman. Hitman from the AOV days.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what team. He was on, he's
one
one
of
of
the
our...
one of the
He was like
season
a sub.
3 NA teams. I don't
Yeah,
think
he was a sub.
I think he was a sub on one of the teams that made finals. But he did separately
No.
qualify on his own team, right?
Yeah, no, he separately qualified on his own team, but he was a sub, and he came, like, he was in and out with a different player, and every time he came in, he just, like, wrecked everyone, and so we're like, why don't they just play him all the time?
I think I
And they started
remember
doing
you
that.
saying that to me in a dark flat in Leicester, England.
It's like, why don't they just play Hitman all the time? Because he's wrecking people. Like, he's
Ooh.
kind of, sort of, maybe.
Zello, that was clean. Going into the bush as well, just to stay ahead of Hitman's follow-through. Very good movement there.
Yeah, Zello is extremely solid on the Fiora as well. He's been just terrifying. You know, aside of we've seen Tribe just kind of body people the entire time, but Zello has been one of the bright spots on the non-Tribe teams, I would say.
Sark kind of invading early here. I think that was just for vision. You do have 3 players here for Team Ash. Well, I've got the team names backwards.
In our lead up to the game, we didn't do our standard thing where it's like, you know, the reason why you picked Lee Sin, TJ, is because he has that early game. He can get those early picks.
Well, I figured
really
we'd set
kind
it.
of tired at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't seen the early pick, which is an issue.
No early game presence from the Lee Sin. I think it is somewhat more difficult to do that against Gragas, because if you invade Gragas early, Gragas just body slams you. Asks you.
It's not just getting.
Uh-oh.
It's not just getting the Grog. It's just going onto one of the lanes, right?
Flash away.
Yeah,
Zello, how are you alive? Flash underneath the turret. Time cannot reach him. Doesn't have ult. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all from Tide. Obviously, like you mentioned, he doesn't have ult. Okay, well
that's an ult.
Molly.
Moonfall now up. Meals will kick Molly away as the Moonfall is burned, but it's a flash over the wall. Molly finds the kill and gets Sark very low. 2 for 1. An early lead for Team Amumu.
That auto was so big, I thought it was an ult. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty big. At least Tybe showed up at the end there. Very good movements here from Molly just to get the 2 into their ult and make that happen. But I don't know. This game has been very disjointed thus far as TJ. And I think that's, you know, there's some individual good bright spots here, especially from like Molly and, you know, obviously from Hitman as well. But they're gonna have to clean these things up. I know it's just like a draft and they haven't played with each other, but come on.
Sorry, I just realized I'd misconfigured my settings, so I'll fix that now.
That's okay. The players realize that too. They're like, wait, what are we doing here?
There was a moment of stasis across the map, nobody taking any risks as we reset. I do want to kind of flag where that gold leaves us, because that didn't really mean much. It was a nice set of kills, but the clear had already been completed and the Drake wasn't up yet, so the kills are a couple hundred gold, nothing more.
Yeah, a lot of times people, especially in chat, will like look at, you know, the kills and be like, oh, this team's ahead, this team's behind. But when kills go off without any real objectives up and nothing is gained from the kills, it doesn't really matter all that much. By the way, Sark has been just living in these wars and it's making me very sad.
Yeah, he's been
like,
trying. Jackie over the wall. Katsu has to jump away. Sark eats the Glacial Fissure, and the full Brom combo saved by the Monsoon still goes down as Team Amumu win out the fight. There's the backline Tristana for you, but IraqiZorro is still up. They've traded this remarkably even, all things considering. I think 2 kills in that fight going to IraqiZorro and his team. 3 in response.
It feels like the entire team fight came down to the fact that IraqiZorro's team doesn't have a frontline support and the other team does, right? Because Janet was just kind of sitting there. The entire side of IraqiZorro's team was just kind of sitting there. Hold up, a second.
Yeah, Sark in on Hitman. Oh, Hitman stays ahead. Flash underneath the turret will stay safe. Marley jumping away. Grand challenges. Pop Zello into the 1v2. Doesn't win that. And in the meantime, down bottom, it's a double kill picked up. And this is going to be Rekt having to just run away. Again, Team Amumu wins the fight at the choke point.
Looks like Jackie did go down, though, so it seems like IraqiZorro did pick that before he did go down. Can this be happening? Oh, Rekt!
Over the wall, Tybe inside the pit, waiting, joined by Zello. Rekt, Meals all waiting around the Braum shield, and it'll be the recast. Marley into the backlines to assassinate Janna. And not find anything more. Sark was trying to backdoor the Drake there. But Team Amumu earning out a pretty devastating early lead. Sark can't steal that, no matter how much he tries, and it may have gotten IraqiZorro killed. Indeed, Iraqi is going to go down, and quite a lot now over to Team Amumu.
This feels like a game of ARAM, honestly. People just running in to try to get any damage that they can, and just dying on the side of IraqiZorro's team, Team Ash. It's really not working out for them. And for Rekt, he gets, every time he gets a good tornado off, it looks good, but then there's nothing after that. There's no follow-up whatsoever, and then they just fall. And that's what I was trying to say the first time, is that there's really no frontline presence. There's no structure to their team. So as they go up to those team fights, they're kind of all by themselves, and there's no way to funnel the opposing team into the damage that you're trying to put out. And that means that the opposing side, Team Camille, could just walk up onto them and do whatever they want. Whereas Team Ash, they're kind of stuck with people in wrong positions and whatnot, and it's really making it difficult for them.
Hitman did find one. Oh, make it two down there in the bottom lane. There is a gang squad headed Hitman's way, but they're playing a Kali. So this is going to be hard. Look at the mobility underneath the turret. Sark for the dive. Hitman's going to be fine. Meals on the run. Hitman's not got ulti. Just going to let that happen.
And Molly's like, all right, you got that? Okay, I got this. I'm going to take this mid turret down. This could not be more of a disaster from Team Ash.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, mid lane fight. Rift Herald did collide with the turret, and that opens things up as players overcommitted behind it. IraqiZorro will find 2 kills. I was about to say, I don't know how you turn things back round now if you're Team Ash, but maybe that's the answer.
Well, not really. They got 1 kill. They still lost the mid turret. They don't have their bottom turret either. Looks like they lost the top turret a while ago. Yeah, losing 3 for 1. Actually, not even 3 for 1. It was 3 for 0 Hitman in that situation. And not only that, but committing so much to do so, committing your entire team just to lose them all is, I don't even have to say it. It's just terrible. And Hitman just kind of running circles around them.
The entire map control has just kind of reset to a constant level of aggression inside the Team Ash jungle. They have no access to their camps, they have no way to farm, and this means that it's very hard to close the gold game.
Yeah. Oh my god, Hitman, stop it! Stop it!
Glacial Fissure will set up for Hitman to find yet another kill.
And remember, this was a first pick Fiora. They were trying to dominate that lane. Instead, they're getting dominated by the Akali here. And not only that, but Akali is better in team fights. That's just how her character works. Fiora is like a one-trick pony. She solos, and that's it. And she's getting bodied in her own lane. And on top of that, her character doesn't allow for her to even contribute to the team fights. If it was like a Malphite and they were getting destroyed by Akali, that's one thing, because maybe they can contribute. They cannot contribute at all, really.
What's up, Sark? You're really gonna do this? Okay, good. I'd like to give a shout out to the players on Team Amumu for realizing no matter how tempting that kill is, And obviously with our vision, you know, we're like, what do you mean? You could have just turned onto him. But from their perspective, they don't know how many people are through that bush. There's no reason to take that risk because the Drake's about to come up. So really good decision making.
Is it? I thought it was Team Camille.
IraqiZorro is Team Ash.
Right, I know that. But I know they're Team Ash, but I thought their opponents were Team Camille. Pretty sure. Or unless, wait. Yeah, Hitman and Molly are on Team Camille.
Alright. Well, I'll fix it. Life's
Okay.
like that sometimes.
Well,
Rex in
yeah.
trouble. Sark will go into the front lines as IraqiZorro pumps out the damage. Has to flash away. Will be chased.
no.
Moonfall into the back lines. And IraqiZorro is no longer in this world. Meals trying to do anything. Gets detonated as well. Late game Tristana is here. And that will mean the game is over.
Yeah. Oh, that's a surrender. Okay. Yeah, IraqiZorro had the most gold on his team by far, and he was tickling the opponent. That's when you know the game is pretty much over.
I'll have you know, I have changed it to properly reflect their team name now that the first game of our day is over.
Nice. Perfect timing. I don't know what happened there, TJ. I'm not gonna lie. That was just an absolute stomp. And it wasn't just like a stomp where, you know, sometimes in the beginning of a game, things go wrong, right? Honestly, there is some luck involved, even though everything is pretty much controlled. It's not like RNG luck. It's like, well, you know, how did people rotate at the exact right time? And, you know, one kill goes off and it kind of snowballs into a wipe. It wasn't unfortunate at all. It was just one team completely outplaying the other team in every facet of the game, which is kind of confusing to me considering these teams were drafted.
Yeah, I have to say, and especially given how stacked we know this Team Ash side is, it did feel like they, you know, maybe had some first game just waking up things, esports schedule. It's early morning,
Yeah.
you know how it is. I do
Well,
have
early
one.
morning for me. I'm the one in Japan.
I do have one replay here. If you want to talk us through this final fight.
Oh, this is I don't even know what fight this was, but sure. Oh yeah,
This was the final fight.
IraqiZorro. Yeah, the final one. IraqiZorro goes in and just unleashes the entire combo and no damage. No damage. It's like IraqiZorro's like, I have the most gold on our team by far. Look, I have 8,000. The rest of our team has less than 7,000. I'm gonna go in and try to do something before the rest of the team shows up. It's like, oh no, I didn't do anything. I didn't even scratch them. And now the rest of them are here, and now we're all dead. If you just look at the gold situation, other than Braum, who's a tanky boy, no matter how much gold he has, the entire team has more gold than the Kaisa. The entire team has more gold than her. There's nothing she could do in that situation.
And it should
she
be
probably
noted
got
that
it.
IraqiZorro was outperforming everyone else on his team by 2,000 gold.
Yeah, that's the thing I was trying to point out. Is like I have so much gold, comparatively speaking, to the rest of my team.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And that leads us here, and those are your end game stats. Do you want to see anything?
I will say IraqiZorro did play okay. Like it seemed like he was
Played well.
doing reasonably well in the dual lane. You can see in his stats there, 3, 4, and 1. He was doing okay. But I think the rest of his team played really poorly. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but they just played really badly. And they got to step it up coming in these next few games.
It was the objective focus for me. They just didn't have any setup around those team fights, and the Team Camille side was playing it very well. Do we have any results in? Have you been keeping an eye on our Google spreadsheet?
I have not, but I don't see anything.
Okay, then
No,
we've
that
got our
was-
first result of the day. How does that feel? We'll go to a quick break then. When we come back, it will be time for yet another video game here at the Circle In-Houses. You won't want to miss any of them, as we have 3 more rounds of play, including a best-of-3 grand final. Will kick Marley away as the Moonfall is burned, but it's a flash over the wall, earning out a pretty devastating early lead. Sark can't steal that, no matter how much he tries, and it may have gotten IraqiZorro killed. So this is going to be hard. Look at the mobility underneath the turret. Sark for the dive.
Yeah. Oh my god, Hitman, stop it. Stop it. Well,
Rex in trouble. Sark will go into the front lines as IraqiZorro pumps out the damage. Has to flash away, will be chased, Moonfall into the backlines, and IraqiZorro is no longer in this world. Meals trying to do anything, gets detonated as well. Late game Tristan.
I don't. Okay.
What
Should
do
I
you?
yell at producer Steve or host producer TJ or host TJ?
We can put it back down if you want, but that doesn't seem. It seems like maybe this is the more important part.
No, I'm not. I don't care about that. I care about the opening there. What just happened?
We just came in with a lot of energy. I don't know. Your bans here for game number 2 are going to be Ziggs, Katarina, Evelyn, and Camille.
Are those identical to the last game? I think Evelyn might be different. But,
I think Evelyn was banned game 1. Yeah.
Oh, they're identical then. Okay.
One of the teams is the same, so it's not the wildest thing. There you go. What do you think?
True.
What do you think the other bans are in the other lobby? They banned Janna and Braum in the other lobby. They're having way more fun.
Oh goodness. Janna. After seeing the Janna performance from the last game, I'm just like, why are you even worrying about Janna? In any case, we did see Camille, Team Camille on the left side win. Or yeah, you have it backwards, don't you?
Yeah. As per usual, though, in my defense, you should be used to it by now.
Just assume they're backwards. Team Camille on the left side completely dominated the last game, and apparently Team Amumu, they were dominated in their last game, in the other match that we did not see. So, see if they can redeem themselves, and we'll see if Camille can keep it up. And just to confuse us, Team Camille has picked Amumu. TJ, what are we gonna do?
Just roll with it, baby. I'm swapping the team names back. This is actually a very weird composition to draft a Mumu into, because they don't have a ton of other AoE punish. Normally, you see like a Mumu Oriana, like that's a really fun combo.
Right,
you can like throw a true shot into this. There's not a whole lot more though.
I don't think it's about the engage. I think it's about the counter engage, right? If you have Katarina and Diana jumping in to try to mess you up, you say, nope, stop right there, blow up everyone, and they're all stunned and they're dead. And no resets for you. Thank you very much.
Could I get that, whoa, stop right there? Could I just get a take of that again?
That's a move, just ulting everyone to death.
Very good. Here is the bracket as we are loading in. I just wanted to briefly keep everyone up to date on the results. And then, as you may have heard, got a game to catch.
Yep. Okay, I think this is the first time I'm ever really casting a Mumu in a game where people are trying. A Mumu actually was... Are they trying? No, not trying. This is a redo.
Does appear to
everyone's
be.
in base.
Let's see what's going on here.
What happened, I wonder?
Remake. They don't say. Did we pick something that was banned? Yes, we did. Katarina.
Oh, I see.
All right.
I think they should get a slap on the wrist for that. Just slap them on the wrist. Bad,
So-
bad. Don't take it.
That'll be that then.
Wait, was a Moo picked before or after Katarina?
After, unfortunately.
Which means we're probably not going to see a Moo.
We're probably not going to
Sadly.
see a Mumu picked by Team Camille then.
Darn.
You know, I was
And
looking so...
Kazakhs too. Kazakhs was not was like last picked as well, so we're probably not going to see Kazakhs either.
He's just trying,
sorry,
he's just
go for it.
hoping they pick Rengar so we can win the 1v1 and get the stat buff.
Nice.
That's such a wild mechanic to me. Have you been paying attention to that?
I mean, I read about it. I don't know what you mean by paying attention. I've never actually played in the game with both of them in there.
It's just, that's just so, like, imagine that deciding a pro game, you know?
I don't think that's going to happen in a custom game, right?
Well, it could.
Oh my god, do you see that that Scuttler pickup by Chump?
I
1v4,
know,
he picks
because
it up.
the camera, the game's automatic camera decided that rather than spectate all 5 of the people fighting, we should spectate the base. So...
Yeah, he got it before bed. He's like, I know this camera's gonna pan in a second. I better get it right now. And he got it. Just clutch. By the way, this turret, this turret is just like, he's like, I will not go down. We stand here and fight.
Daniel,
E5.
I've got a little bit of a request for you.
Sure.
I know it's, you know, cutting deep into your analytical abilities. But hang on. Can we get a breakdown of that?
The Scuttler?
I don't know. Whatever was picked up in this minute of gameplay, I pulled into the replay.
Well, I see Asami here going back to base. This is a really tactical play here by Asami. As you can see, she's picked a Katarina, but she was actually banned, and so by hiding yourself in the base, it hides yourself from the fact that you actually cheated in the game.
Oh, we did get it.
Allows you to win later.
We got it. Talk me through what impressed you so much about this play.
So Chomp walks away from the blue buff, knowing that the important creep here to get is the Scuttler, because if you get the Scuttler, that gives you that all-important vision of the Drake TJ. And he sees 4 people. He sees 4 of the opponent's mid. That allows him time to be able to sneak this one out while the opponent isn't watching. Now, unfortunately, his entire team is in base. That kind of ruins the overall plan just somewhat, because even if he does get this color, it's unlikely they're going to be able to get the Drake, but he goes for it anyway. And the reason is because he can maybe fake out the opponent, right? If they're going for the Drake later on in the game, then perhaps he can kind of, you know, show with his presence that he sees where they are, and so therefore prevent them from ever taking it in the first place. Now you see this color is a force. Oh no! You were just about to take this Cuddler. We were almost there.
Well, let's just watch the whole replay again.
I'm not getting tired. I'm just, I'm like physically tired of commentating this.
This is just a remake if you are just joining us, so we'll be back out of it shortly. Hang on, I've got it. All right, I made the edit. I'm a pro gamer.
We're 10 seconds away from restarting anyway, so.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have the replay ready, and that's what matters.
Well, you can commentate then.
Check this out. Okay, so this was where the camera cut away, and then we cut back, and he's dead.
Oh, he's like in the fetal position. It's so sad.
Good. Rek'Sai should be sent. We've completed our time in jail. The remake has happened. Back over to you, Daniel.
No, that's you're not allowed to do that. It's illegal.
Oh. I need to.
I got no filler. I'm just gonna.
You got no filler? Tell me more about poorly localized websites.
Oh, right. I was like, what are you referring to? Okay, so sometimes there are websites, and you know, there's the standard, the default is in English.
No, a couple of them. And don't want to brag.
Yeah.
At least 3 websites.
And
Yahoo.com.
The thing is, I live in Japan, and my settings are in Japanese, right? So if there's an opportunity to have it displayed in Japanese, the sites will usually, right? Because that's the default. But some sites, they do it just half and half. Like whoever was in charge of localizing it didn't make the whole thing localized. It's just kind of half and half. So sometimes you'll see like half the words will be in Japanese and half the words will be in English, and it doesn't help anyone except for maybe specifically me. But even for me, it's just confusing, right? Because I'm switching back and forth.
Switch. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're a Japanese person, honestly, if you're a Japanese person, it's easier if it's just all in English, because then you can just go Google Translate and it makes sense, right? If it's like half and half, you can't. It's just a bunch of nonsense.
So how does this happen? Is this like
I don't know
designed, or does it happen to other languages? Because I don't think I've seen that.
Well, do do you have your computer in other languages, DJ?
No, but I am quite frequently trying to browse content that's written in Chinese or various European languages for League of Legends. So I'll end up.
Okay, but that's not localized. That's like the original language is that, right? Whereas in this situation, the
I
original language is
suppose, yeah.
English, and I think it's like, I think how it happens, if I were to take a guess, is that there are parts where it's like, what do you want to have written in here, right? And it's like, a bunch of English, and it's like, okay, turn that to Japanese. But then there's other parts where it's like part of the, like a menu bar or whatever, just like stuff that they haven't thought about that's already like kind of set as default to
Baked in.
English. So it's, I don't know, it's just way more confusing than it needs to be. And if you're not going to do it right, just don't do it at all, honestly, because it's like, it's way easier if you're a Japanese person.
Is it? Oh, hold up.
And you don't.
Isn't some effort better than nothing? Isn't it better for the 80-year-old grandmother who doesn't know what Google Translate is to have a website that she can vaguely use?
No. Because then maybe the Google Translate thing doesn't come up. It's like, would you like to translate this? Maybe Google looks at it like, this seems to already be in your language. I'm not even going to show a notification.
Rough for 80-year-old hypothetical grandmothers in Japan right now. I don't know how they're going to read their gaming forums. What are they going to do when they go to challenge.com?
You weren't supposed to out them, DJ.
I absolutely am going to out challenge.com. Check out this draft.
I will.
Or not. Daniel, if you don't want to talk about it, I'm just having a lot of fun with the ability that I can push that button.
I said I will. I was ready for the draft. Now you're just messing with me.
So we saw all of these first cycle picks before. It's going to be the second to last red side pick. The fourth pick on red side was where we had the remake. Gragas, Kaiser, yes, so this is all the same. The bans were Ziggs, Katarina, Evelyn, and Camille.
Yep. Which is why Katarina is a no-no. Wukong. I do kind of like Wukong better than Vi. Maybe I'm just a Vi hater.
You are.
Vi is just, it seems like Vi, her kit is set up to get individual pickoffs, and she never has the damage to do so.
You know what?
Whereas Wukong is a much better team fighter, and like you can get a team. Wukong just has more damage than Vi in the first place, just off of his first and third abilities, and then his ult is just amazing in team fights. Whereas Vi, it's just lacking.
And Team Amumu is building like full-on team fighting here. You got the Braum Kaiser bottom lane, and then Diana, Wukong, Garen as the front line. Camille on the opposite side have a decent amount of team fighting as well. The Galio's going to follow up behind Alistair Akali. You've got Gragas to play either AP burst or front line, depending on how the game requires. And the Ezreal as a back line.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the wombo combo from Wukong and Diana. Going with the Cyclone into Moonfall be pretty nuts. So obviously Galio can mess it up. It's like, oh, you're taunted, sorry. But we'll see how that works.
One of the funnest things about the last week of my life, Daniel, has been, what's hitting the jungle in League of Legends PC?
Tell me.
Diana. And
I don't know why you're laughing.
Because
that doesn't sound so weird.
It happened in Wild Rift way before it happened in PC. It happened in Wild Rift, and I distinctly remember being like, Jungle Diana! Ha! And then the best players in the world are now playing Jungle. Diana!
Diana saved me from this abyss. Anyway. I mean, I'm not surprised at all, because there's a lot of groupthink in particularly in games where people think they figured it out, right? Like League has been around for forever, and there's a billion analysts, and sometimes they just like think the same exact way. I mean, this is just to give you an example of like a completely different game/sport. Like in basketball, it took people like 20 years, 30 years after the three-point line was invented to be like, wait, 3 points are more than 2. We should try those.
Yo, that's multiple
like,
points.
Yeah, I remember being like a 13-year-old and like watching games, and people would shoot from like 22 feet, which the 3-point line is 23 and like a half feet, and people would shoot like just inside the 3-point line. Like, why don't you just take like one step back? It can't be that much harder. And then teams like literally like 10 years ago, like not that long ago, people started being like, wait, what if we just take one step back and shoot 3-pointers? Anyway, but the point is that like there's a lot of things that people think are just like standard and like common knowledge, and there just aren't. You know, if you just think more in like creatively, ingenuitively, the group think is not always right. In this case, like, well, why not even try Diana jungle? You know, it's like it's not just bad because people say it is. Try it out.
It also got buffed on PC, but you know, so they don't change how heavy the basketball is. A little different. Selmore in the top lane is playing Garen into Akali, which I raised because it's a bad time, as Selmore is discovering. It is such a bad time indeed that Tybe is able to press in behind them and start stealing away their camps.
What are they called again? Krugs?
Krugs.
Krugs.
Check out these
Anyway, I was going to say,
Krugs.
they did change the basketball one time. It was like 15 years ago they changed the basketball. Yeah,
Taunt
and
will
people
land.
hated it.
Flash from starting should get starting out alive, but very low on HP. So Amumu are going to roam up their jungle and their support here. Asami around the side as well. Mali in trouble. Oh, blocked by the Cyclone. Starting will go down underneath the turret. Tybe with a deep dive to scoop out that kill. Chomp will chase down the 2-for-1 trade, making it at least a 1-for-1. What does Tybe do? Just tries to kill himself.
I don't think so. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a kill. That's for sure a kill. Asami got some damage off.
So 2-for-1 confirmed.
One of the most bizarre 2-for-1. I love how both mids went down, and they were just kind of abandoned by their teammates in favor of going for the other team. Both starting and Molly were like, "Team, hello, team." They just kind of went down unceremoniously. But that's just how it works.
I mean,
in the death.
Somebody's got to be the sacrifice. And in this case, it was both of them. So that wasn't great. That wasn't how it was supposed to go. Normally, you let one person die so that the other person escapes. That is not what we just played.
You let one person die so you can kill the other person. It's terrible. It's a terrible world we live in.
But that was much needed for Camille, as Team Amumu had kind of eked out early lane advantages. They're going to keep trying to bully starting. And that's a disaster as the Moonfall comes through, but a huge explosive cask splits the fight and finds yet another kill onto starting. Oh, the true shot very nearly doubles up. Asami and Dtwo backing away as things continue. They go from good to great here for Camille. They're going to be able to pick up this Drake.
Maybe. The death timers are still pretty short. Diana might be able to get here in time. And the Drake is still not so low. Actually, all 10 members are here.
Hitman. Oh, doing so much damage. Backed up by the heroic entrance. Chomp is on 1 HP. Selmore round the back. Dtwo ult, Killer Instinct, huge Cyclone from Chomp. They will trade their life for it, but creates an opening. Starting in the midst of this fight, has the Moonfall, will drop it, doesn't find the follow-up, but does still get a double kill for Dtwo, who is still alive and still racking out damage. A triple kill as they close things down with the Acathian Rain. Dtwo steps up, and Team Amumu turn to start this Drake.
We were talking about sacrifices earlier, TJ. That was a real sacrifice by Chomp. We at the start of that fight had Hitman just going ham on the opposing team. Chomp with the sliver of life says, I might die, but if I get this Cyclone off with my last dying breath, I can win this team fight for a save. And so he did. After he dies, it goes 4 kills in a row for Team Amumu. And that's a sacrifice I like to see. They do lose the Drake, though.
They do lose that Drake, though. It got restarted like 4 times in a row. Eventually. Successfully picked up there by Team Camille.
If at first you don't succeed, start Drake again.
Yeah.
I think that's how it goes.
It's the LPL strategy. Rift Herald has arrived on the Rift, which means it's time to team fight again.
Yeah, these teams certainly are keen on team fighting, even for something as seemingly trivial as a Rift Herald, but you might see it go here.
Chinese League of Legends, which is the LPL, they've just discovered that, I mean, it's the 3-point rule. You get gold for killing people. Why wouldn't you try to kill people? And that just defines the Chinese method of League of Legends. So.
Wait, you get more gold for killing these things called champions than you do for killing the little dudes called minions? Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Let me tell you, Daniel, it is wild. Here's the Rift Herald. So far, controlled by Team Amumu, do have a minor gold lead on that last fight. A lot of it onto Dienzio. Chomp. Double Cyclone. Glacial Fissure. Chomp half HP. Escapes with the clone. Heroic entrance from Mali. Dominates the fight. They have so much AoE, but the Moonfall starting. That was devastating. Starting's Moonfall guarantees the fight to Team Amumu. They will come out on top. Hitman still in this push, though. They go in. Perfect execution ready. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's 2. A double kill for Hitman. They've got the regen from the honey fruits. Surely not Hitman. Back in. Close range. Selmo will zone the back off. They go in. Shot very low. Hitman. Selmo. No HP. Flashes away. 3. Make it 4 kills to Hitman. Single-handedly. Stalling this out into the smoke veil. They'll even survive the Braum.
Hitman sees 4 people. He's like, I like those odds. Just jumps in and cleans house. I was about to say at the start of this game, it's like, okay, from the jungler side on Team Amumu, it's like, okay, we got the Wombo combo. We got our Wukong into Diana. We have we got the massive AoE onto everyone. We got the stuns. We got everything. We're a good team fighting team, right? That was the theme. We're a good team fighting team. And Hitman's like, I'm a good team fighting person. I'm a good team fighting individual. This was an amazing Cyclone coming up. I really allowed for that Moonfall to be huge there, and kind of nullifying the fact that it was a really good ult coming in from Mali there. But yeah, there was the cleanup, and then there was the reverse cleanup by Hitman.
Yeah, this was really easy for me to edit, because the entire clip was just gold. Didn't have to do any trimming, it's just 60 seconds of good gameplay. Hitman finds the first 2, resets off the honey fruit. Much more powerful than they are on PC. Finds the reset. But we're not going to have time for that, because there's a deep dive underneath the turret. Explosive cask will be spent. Dienzio staggered under threat of that Rift Herald. Bot lane turret is going to fall, but the entire bottom lane has successfully disengaged here for Team Amumu.
I just realized, like, oh yeah, they did get the Rift Herald for that. After on the end of that crazy play.
All of that fighting.
Yeah. One of the funny parts for me was Chomp just basically committing to being the sacrificial lamb. He went straight to Guardian Angel without even getting boots. He's like, I'm gonna Cyclone, and that's my job. And even if it kills me, because I'll be back to Cyclone again.
Starting, gonna get burned down here underneath the turret, drops the Moonfall defensively. Hitman's doing so much damage. The Honey Fruit will save starting. Selmo steps into the front lines to try and punish it. But you just cannot punish an Akali that's this far ahead.
Yeah, nearly 10,000 gold.
Ooh,
maybe now.
Hitman, shut down! I speak too soon. Can they do anything more for this fight? Selmo on the front lines buys a ton of time. but the rest of the team's really low. Dtwo needs to burst down and stay alive. Hovering at the back, they're able to do exactly that. Selmo, silence again. Dtwo, very low. Oh, Jackie can't confirm the kill. Starting's back. And that's enough for Team Amumu to win yet another fight with no HP on anyone.
They knew their win condition. If we kill the Akali, we win the fight. Immediately exhausted, burned down, and without Akali there, they can't do anything. Jackie tried to get something done, but just doesn't have the damage quite yet. Going for the Muramana and the Trinity Force, doesn't have quite the damage in order to finish people off, and just got completely given the runaround there by Zio.
Yeah, we're gonna see poor things happen here to starting. Ooh, redemption. Could make things interesting. Gets them all very low. My God! Starting survives. Asami comes in, keeps him up, drops the exhaust, and that makes all the difference. Chomp hiding here after a dive underneath the turret. This turret very low.
Did you think the same thing that I did? Like, he had so little health, I couldn't tell if it was blue or red. I was like, wait, who survived? Who is that? It was actually starting who survived in the end. He had so little health, I couldn't see whether it was blue or red or not. It was only a shield. It's like, oh, starting survived that one. Okay.
Hitman flash over the wall. Rare that Akali needs to blow a flash. But they were rather out of position. And so we're in a weird game state where Hitman is the scariest thing in the universe and also losing.
Yeah, part of the issue is that Zio, while we, we're so enthralled with Hitman, Zio, off the back of the last couple of fights, has quietly gone up to 10.5k gold. And Akaisa with 10.5k gold is game-winning. And so that's going to be a problem for Team Camille going forward.
Yeah. Really, really dominant control of this game in terms of the objective fights from Team Amumu. Very clearly a priority coming in from them. And now that the Kaisa is online, now that Dtwo is able to bring their experience to bear, just in terms of raw mechanics on that Kaisa, we're seeing the rewards.
Yeah, having that BRK, having the... I'm forgetting what the item is called. It's the extra damage on crits.
The Infinity
anyway,
Edge.
Yeah, she has lots of damage now. And so that will go well for her, for sure. Especially when she pops her 1. It gets 12 shots instead of 6.
TPN. Starting in Selmo. In the same area, hanging out, saying hello to Hitman. What's going on in your neighborhood? Moonfall?
Oh my
goodness.
Are you kidding me? Pops the exhaust and the ult, and still Hitman gets away.
Akali, man. What do you do?
What do you do indeed? Speaking of which, both starting and Akali are going towards that Rabadon. And will be quite the power spike for both of them once they get there. Diana all of a sudden with 11k gold as well.
We'll need to pay attention to kind of this scaling on that Diana, because I think starting is going to be a large part of this teamfight threat as the Wukong gets significantly less scary.
Yeah, I think Wukong has always been kind of the designated sacrificial lamb, right? He goes in, gets his Cyclone off, and then the rest of the team comes up and follows up. Yeah, going forward is going to be the Kaisa and Diana show.
I just realized I had.
Did you turn on the game sound?
Game audio,
It's
yeah.
just really,
like,
it's really loud for me.
Oh, okay. Make it quieter for you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Selmore and Chomp hanging out. Oh, a good engage into the back lines, but does that hold? Jackie needing to kite. Very long range, and Selmore just chases him down. In the meantime, Dtwo's still alive. Midst of the fight. Double kill. Passed over to Hitman. Dtwo running for their life. That's going to be the game. A dominant team fight and an easy turn towards the Drake.
Yeah, that was such a scattered fight. People all over the place. Even with the full zoom out, people were across the entire screen there. But when I heard you say, TJ, that Zia was still alive, I knew who had won the fight because you cannot let a Kaisa alive that long with that much damage. She is going to clean up no matter what.
Yeah, so when I say that's going to be the game, it's because this is going to be at least the inhibitor turret. I think they could have actually forced an end, but I understand why you dot your I's and cross your T's. It is going to be the second Drake, and it is going to be almost impossible for Team Camille to contest any of these Barons going forward.
I don't think they could have ended there. I think that was the right play. Kaisa has okay turret damage, but not great. And I think even if she was there, she would have gotten the turrets down maybe a few seconds faster. Like the minions were doing the bulk of the damage there. And so just sending Diana to do that while they get the Drake, I think it was good multitasking from them. They get the inhibitor anyway. And now they're 7k gold ahead. They have map control. I think I like this play here from Team Mumu.
In terms of map control, they're kind of doomed if you're a Team Camille fan. Just because of that mid-wave shove. The only way to answer that is to pretty much permanently park Jackie here. Jackie is kind of the only character with the wave clear to hold back super minions. And that means you better hope you're team fighting in or around the midline.
I think the biggest deal here, for kind of the nail in the coffin story here for Team Camille, is the fact that Kaisa now has Guardian Angel, right? And she already has like a ton of damage. It's not like she sacrificed much to do that because she has 16k gold. She has tons of damage and tons of attack speed and tons of everything on her side. Now she just has GA on top of that. And if you're a Kali, if you're a hitman, you can't even dive the backline to kill her because you're going to die yourself and you're not going to get the kill anyway.
So how do you respond to that? Well, you vibe, you hope that you can grab Dtwo by themselves as an Akali and just win through that.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So I think, honestly, I think you just dive her. You just try to kill her through the GA. I think you just try to kill her. She's out of commission for a while. You kind of just hang around until she comes back, and then you kill her. Because you kind of hope that Diana can't kill you by herself while she's reviving.
They know Baron's going. That's what that true shot was for.
Oh.
Hitman onto Chomp. Chomp dead. Selmore kiting. Starting in trouble. Low HP. And already Dtwo struggling. Knocked into GA. The entire team groups around him. Dtwo instantly stasises and falls. Team Amumu are shut down here on the brink of victory. Having taken the inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Having control of the Baron. They lose the fight.
I mean, you were asking how do Team Camille win this next team fight if there's a GA on Zio, and I guess the answer is you just poke them to death. You just poke them until they have no HP left, TJ, and I guess that'll do. That'll work.
They're gonna have to do it again though. This is not a clean Baron take by any means. Starting in the front lines, challenges Hitman. And Hitman is just doing so much damage. Will finally get stunned. Knocked into GA. Here's Jackie over the wall. Almost dropping starting. Will drop Selmore. Out of the TP comes Chomp. Hitman. Perfect execution. Still evens things up. And that sets Jackie up. Here comes the TP. This is going to be starting right out of the base though. And Jackie's got to leave. Chomp will run him down anyway.
Whew. Okay, where do we stand after all of that? We got Ty back up. The Drake is up now. It looks like Amumu's back on top again. I'm so confused right now, TJ.
I think Amumu still have control of this game, right? I mean, these super minions are oppressive for all the reasons we talked about. They do have the team fight advantage for all the reasons we talked about. Elder will go down, and it should be fairly easy to turn for the Baron from here.
I was just in awe of how much damage Hitman was doing to Asami. An Akali onto a Braum, who's usually very tanky, his hit points just drop like crazy. I'm like, is that a Braum? it's like my eyes deceive themselves.
Yeah. Being a tank in the late game in Wild Rift, it's just a rough time. It's just a miserable experience.
Yeah, to be fair, he doesn't have a ton of magic defense here. It's basically his first item there, and after that, not a whole lot. It's not until his most recent tier 1 item has he gotten any sort of magic resist off of that. So that is one thing. And also, the Akali does have 40% magic pen on her side as well. From
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
more than that.
it is also a
If you
ludicrously fed Akali, you know, Dudley's side of that. Starting into this stasis, a good focus comes through. Here's Hitman round the side, trying to set things up. Good cask, everyone's low. Hitman finds Dtwo. Dtwo into stasis, protected by Chomp. That saves the day. The rest of the team falls. Dtwo just needs to be the bait, and this should be the game. Amumu runs through the team, runs through the Nexus, and we'll take game number 1 of this best of 1 series.
Nice save. That was a really fun game. I like that. It was really back and forth.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It's kind of funny because that was literally the perfect ult there from Galio, and it didn't matter. It's like, it turns out if you have enough damage, no amount of shielding can help you.
I was just... Hang on, I have exactly one replay I really want to look at. I'm going to throw it up. This was just the instant deletion of Hitman that I think turned the game. And I'm going to, with your permission, start it again. Look at this.
Yeah, so Hitman was obviously carrying the game, and they're like, I will not let you. They're just like, like after they knocked him up 3 times in a row, then they exhausted him just to be sure. Just to be sure. And honestly, that's the right call. In my opinion, that was the right call. It's like, you gotta be sure when it's freaking Hitman on Akali who just 1v4'd you. Sometimes you just gotta make sure, TJ. And after that, the fight, it seems like it's, you know, perilous. Everyone's low on the side of Team Amumu. But there's just no damage left. The only damage is coming in from Jackie. I mean, Galio's not going to do anything. And they just kind of kite them back and forth until the fight's over.
And then the fight was over. And that led to our game score. Amumu take the win. Dtwo looking real good for the first half of that game, kind of the hard carry of the team. And then got hard focused. And that's where I think Dtwo actually really stepped up. Because when you can be the hard carry that's getting hard focused by an Akali and make the adjustment to just say, okay, I'm bait now. I'm going to just waste as much time as possible, drag Hitman away from the rest of the fight, force him to choose between killing me and winning the fight. Well, that's a really good play, and that's a really good heads-up play and understanding of your role.
Can you go to damage for a second?
Sure. I'm going to need to tab back into the thing, but
yeah, starting actually had the most damage in the game. That's really interesting. So yeah, because starting ended up with the MVP for, at least stats wise, for Team Amumu. And like you mentioned, once Zio started getting focused, it was incumbent on the rest of the team to, you know, deal the damage. And you know, Garen can do some damage, you know, Wukong can do some damage, but they're not going to really kill people, especially because Chop had already committed to being the sacrificial lamb. I know you like to think that Braum can 1v5, but in these cases, usually not the case. So yeah, starting did a really good job of kind of cleaning up the team fights once Zio started getting focused there. And I think that was really the difference. Also, if you compare the ADC and mid battles, if you go back to the KDA part.
Oh my god.
Compare Kai'Sa and Diana to the Galio and the Ezreal, and it's not pretty.
Yeah. I mean, it did feel like that early game was just so devastating for Jackie that even by the time we got to like that mid-game team fight where you're at the Ezreal power spike, you have Trinity Force and Muramana, Ezreal slapping, but it's too little too late because Dtwo's already been dominating team fights for the entire game. So like the 2 team fights where Jackie was able to step up and be a secondary damage threat just weren't enough.
There was that one team fight where we were like, how are they ever going to win a team fight? Then they just did.
And then
Where
it
Jackie
was,
had a
oh,
lot of
by the
health
way,
damage.
you forgot about the Ezreal power spike. Jackie's gonna have a great time.
Yeah, so yeah, for sure, Jackie did really well in that one particular team fight, but that was unfortunately the only team fight that did well. It's just like, I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost again. Don't look at me. Yeah, I don't know. Like in the beginning of the game, I'm just gonna talk as a ghost if that's okay.
I'm debating
like,
whether or not to fix.
In the 1v1 between the mid laners, right, Diana and Galio, it seemed like a normal. It seemed like a there you go. It seemed like they were having a normal back and forth. It didn't seem like either side had the advantage there, but Diana just kind of ran away with it in team fight. What do you think about that? Because it seems like Galio's ult would be extremely powerful in that situation, but
Extremely
Diana's
powerful
ult,
to counter Diana's specifically, right?
yeah, exactly. So I was like,
Um,
Diana just kind of popped off. I don't know.
But starting, I think, first of all, is
Although-
it very...
Maybe it just wasn't the ult. Maybe, I mean, like if you think about it, they didn't really have a way to kill Diana very quickly, other than a hitman, right? So I think Diana was just able to get her resets off, right? And Diana technically doesn't have resets, but like basically you use her first ability, and then if you land your third ability on someone who's been hit by your first ability, then it just resets. Or if you use your ult, it puts the moonlight on everyone, and you can just kind of spam 3. I think that was doing most of the damage because I didn't really see a particularly like devastating ultimate. But I think like in the background, she was probably just throwing out 3s left and right, teleporting and doing damage that way.
Yeah. I was just genuinely very impressed by that game overall. Like, that was a really good game. That was really back and forth. That was very well played. That's the kind of thing you want to see out of the best players in North America. And Daniel, do you have enough results in to give us a bracket update?
Okay, we just saw Selma win, which was Mumu. I'm gonna enter that in right now.
All right.
And then our other result was we had Sly versus IraqiZorro, and Sly won that. So IraqiZorro, the host of this tournament, is 0-2 so far, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was the first team we watched tonight, and it didn't go great. We are gonna stick with Jackie's team here. So Team Camille playing against the only team we haven't seen, which would be Team Akali. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Who are as yet undefeated. You've done a great job updating this bracket, so I'll now put it on screen for everyone to see.
Put the 1s and 0s.
As yet undefeated. So, we're going to go to a quick break, grab some water, and we'll come back with exactly that. Don't go far. Backed up by the Rollick entrance, Chomp is on 1 HP, Selmore round the back. Dtwo ults, Killer Instinct, huge cyclone from Chomp. They will trade their life for it, but creates an opening. Starting in the midst of this fight, has the moonfall, will drop it, doesn't find the follow-up, but does still get a double kill for Dtwo, who is still alive and still racking out damage. Chomp, double cyclone, glacial fissure, Chomp half HP, escapes with the clone, heroic entrance from Marley, dominates the fight. They have so much AoE, but the moonfall starting, that was devastating. Starting moonfall guarantees the fight to Team Amumu. They will come out on top. Hitman still in this push though, they go in, perfect execution ready. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's two. A double kill for Hitman. They've got the regen from the honey fruit, surely not Hitman. Back in, close range, Selmore will send the back up, they go in, shot very low. Hitman, Selmore, no HP, flashes away, 3, make it 4 kills to Hitman. Single-handedly stalling this out into the smoke veil. They'll even survive the brawl. Yeah. Being attacked in the AK Wild Rift, it's just a rough time. It's just a miserable experience. To be fair, he didn't have
his most recent tier 1 item, has he gotten any sort of magic resist off of that? So That is one thing, and also, the Akali does have 40% magic pen on her side as well. From
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
more than that.
it is
If you
also
put
a
them around a little bit.
ludicrously fed Akali, you know, Dudley's side of that. Starting into this stasis, a good focus comes through. Here's Hitman round the side, trying to set things up. Good cask, everyone's low. Hitman finds Dtwo. Dtwo into stasis, protected by Chomp. That saves the day. The rest of the team falls. Dtwo just needs to be the bait, and this should be the game.
You didn't know I was watching. I didn't mean to sneak around. But now I'm glad that it hit me. 'Cause I can't believe what I found. You try to hold me back and control me. Everything's a threat that will spoil me.
What do you think, Daniel? Is it a jam?
I can't live without.
For sure, for sure.
Really?
Speaking of gems, we got a lot of KDA. I mean, speaking of pop groups, we got a lot of
Okay,
KDA people
alright,
on our
I'll
team
take
right
it.
now. Like KDA skins.
I'm just shocked by the fact that you weren't horrified by my music for once. I think that's like genuinely a first. Look,
You know,
Daniel has
I-
really high
I-
standards for royalty-free music.
No, here's the thing with me. I am a sucker for pop music in general, especially like mainstream pop music. So if something sounds vaguely like that, I will actually enjoy it. Which is I know I'm
I feel like literally
bit
all of the
sacrilegious
music
here.
I have sounds vaguely like mainstream pop music. Admittedly, not
Eh.
like mainstream pop music. I haven't even had time to update the team names yet. We're just into it.
You know, honestly, this draft was so weird. I thought it might be a remake. Because this is like nothing we've seen before. First of all, we have Evelyn through the ban phase. We have Camille through the ban phase. Which, you know, admittedly this is a new team that we're watching.
They're backwards.
What
Team-
team are we watching again?
Team Camille has Akali, and Team Akali has Camille.
Oh goodness. Oh no.
Check that out.
I'm not even I'm gonna call them blue and red, okay? It just otherwise it's way too confusing.
I respect your cowardice, but don't endorse it. Hitman,
You know, I could just
in
go for it.
trouble here. Will be chased down, flash away. Hitman underneath the turret. They're both dead.
You know what? I call that a win for Team Red. First of all, bigger balls. Second of all, first blood. Easy.
What? You thought
the
I
way-
was gonna have something to say after that?
By the way, we should talk about the draft for a second here. I mean, so Diana wrecked the blue team last game, and now they're like, okay, well, why don't we just pick Diana for ourselves, and then we'll still have Akali. Maybe that'll work. But they did give over the Kaisa once again. But I'm wondering when we're going to get to a point where Diana is actually banned here, because if Diana just wrecks again here, we might see that start to happen.
Sorry, I'm trying to determine if I have enough time to play a replay of that top fight because I really want to get another look at it. But at the same time, I think the
Why?
answer to that is a
I
resounding
can
no.
tell you what happened. I can tell you what happened. Okay, Hitman was low. He was chased and he died, and then Camille died on her.
Woohoo.
turret.
Ali in trouble. Tribe will come round the side.
Oh.
There's the ultimate. Last whisper to confirm the kill. This time, Hitman's
mean-
got backup.
I mean, I just looked over, I saw the flash was down. I was like, yeah, Vi is dead, 100%. There's like no way. I've seen that so many times before. Why are you watching this?
I want to see it again. This isn't an inquisition, Daniel. I don't have answers I need. I'm not looking for facts, just satisfaction. Oh, they missed.
Okay.
Ali missed. Actually, I did get an answer. They missed their hook shot. That's actually kind of huge.
Yeah, Camille maybe could have gotten away. That's true.
Aren't you happy
Camille
to
and
watch the
Akali.
replay now?
Fine.
Ali will step forward here on the top side to challenge Hitman again. This has been a bit of a brawling top lane. And time.
I think from now on, anytime we mention Ali or Hitman, we have to say that Hitman as Akali on Team Camille, or Ali as Camille on Team Akali.
Rejected. Ooh! Destiny right into the Encore. That doesn't go well for Sly. They're in huge trouble. Deceived, caught in the moonfall. And that's going to be Team Camille dominating here. Not much you could do about that. They'll turn those kills and low HP bars, or at least attempt to, into the Drake. Here comes Black Camel around the side. No HP. Lux. Black Camel into the pit. Gets the steal! Will go down immediately after. Sly follows. So 3 kills in total to Team Camille. But Akali get the moral victory and the Drake.
Is it the moral victory though if you just die? I'm not so sure.
Sure.
Okay, we need to go back to the draft, okay? Because both teams have committed completely to just skirmishing. No 5v5 team fights, just, 1v1s, 2v2s all day. Except the blue team, Team Camille, who has Akali on their team, the blue team has vastly outperformed the opposing team in that regard. Because, come on, look. Akali, Ezreal, Diana, and Evelyn. They literally just 4 people who, all they do is assassinate people. Assassinate 1v1s. And yeah, there's a Twisted Fate on the other side. Yeah, there's a Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa takes a while to get going. Luxie maybe help out in some sort of, in pickoffs. Same thing with Camille. But it's just not the same. It's just not the same. The blue team has ridiculous pickoff potential.
Oh, Seraphine!
Seraphine's like, I'm going to show you how to get it done.
I thought that
yeah,
execute, the execute on her first ability was going to get that kill. Unfortunately, for all us Seraphine fans out here, we're going to have to wait for this. Jackie hovering at the back of this fight. There is Destiny. Sly arriving too late to save the day.
I know this hasn't really been Vi's fault. Just kind of been put in really bad positions. But I'm gonna use this as an opportunity. I'm gonna just opportunity grab this one to show that why Vi isn't as good of a jungler. Just use this as an example, even though it's a terrible example. Yeah, Vi is not very good in the jungle. Look at this game.
I mean, did get the steal though. Vi's relative tankiness important there. First turret break did happen. Ali will just be deleted by Hitman. Why do you keep letting this guy play Akali?
Oh my goodness. Again, one of those situations, just like the Evelyn before when she got the kill onto the Vi. It's like, yeah, we know how this is going. Once Hitman got his combo off, it's like, yeah, this one's over. I know how this ends.
Moonfall will be spent here. Molly, rooted by the light binding. Molly will be able to stabilize, however. Shoju does get away. To Deceived, doing good work there. A sacrificial light binding saving the day, but not saving this turret. It'll be the second of the game to fall. Team Akali, the red side here, hasn't lost a game yet in this bracket. And it's not looking great here. As their tier 2 turret, takes a huge hit there.
Yeah, funnily enough, our blue team here lost their first game, and okay, we'll watch this fight once again. Yeah, big jump in, just so much assassin potential the entire way. This is actually a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was at the beginning of the Drake fight. I just really wanted to.
Yeah, I was like, when did this happen? But yeah, this is when I realized, oh no, they have you can't run away from this team. They are so fast and so deadly. This is when I was like, let's talk about the draft one more time.
Oh. Gotta respect somebody who can just walk in and steal a Drake. And then we gotta cut away before they just die.
Let's not talk about the death. We don't talk about
Speaking of opportunities for stealing, here is one. Ali over the wall will be
Steal your life away.
threatened. Needs to back away. True shot arcs through the team. Ali lands the Hextech ultimatum, but can't get anything from it because Hitman breaks free and finds instant double kill. Nearly a triple. Confirms the triple with a dive behind the turret. Black Camel will try and find a turn, and indeed there is very low HP on Kansu. The Seraphine. Hitman tanking a turret shot. Reads Black Camel.
Yeah, no.
Oh, he's just gone.
I was like, Black Camel, that is not a good idea. I saw him heading towards the Akali. Like, Akali has very low health. Maybe I am a jungler. Maybe I can take this. Like,
Oh no. Daniel?
sorry.
I lost your audio for a
Can you hear me?
second there.
Oh, well, that's on you.
It's alright. Yeah,
I was just exclaiming how
we
little it
shared
was going
that
to end
moment of
well.
horror where you could see the
Yeah.
vibe be like, I win these. And you look at the gold and you do not win these.
Yeah, for sure. In no world are you going to be able to kill Akali there. Especially with, I mean, I don't think he would have had the damage anyway. But just to make matters worse, the Seraphine was there for the shield.
Okay, maybe this time. Hextech ultimatum, Destiny, it's enough.
Finally, we've done it. We've done it.
3 players, 2 ultis, kill confirmed.
Easy. No big deal.
They did trade a turret for that kill. I hope it was worth it. Might be worse. Oh, Charm lands. Shoju needs to flash away. Does stay ahead of the Encore. Deceive barely survives. Burns flash underneath the turret. Ali wants to find a response, but that turret does fall. And so, the game continues to kind of spiral out of control for Team Akali.
I'm actually kind of wondering how things went so poorly last game here for our blue team, because they lost last game, right? But they destroyed game number 1, and they're destroying this game, right? And keep in mind, Team Sly actually beat the team that Tybe lost to last game. So I don't know. This is all just confusing to me.
Shoju and the rest of the team will be able to take some of their jungle here, which is actually really important. Can you give us, as they try and
jungle.
stay in this game? Alright. As they try and stay in this game, can you give us an overview of the bracket? Do you have a sense of where we're standing?
Yeah, so our red team is 2-0. Our blue team here is 1-1. I don't want to say Camille and Akali.
Okay,
It's confusing.
so if this upset happens, then we go all the way. Moonfall, Sly is dead.
jeez.
That's big.
Oh my
Ali is down as well, and it is a clean house. This upset is happening. Team
my
Camille
goodness. Is it an
able
upset?
to destroy the perfect record of Team Akali, and in doing
I don't know if
so,
it's an
will
upset
tie their records.
Oh my goodness. Constantly stop it. Stop the BM. I don't know if this is an upset as much as last game might have been a fluke.
Well,
For
it
blue
will, I believe, determine our finals is going to be a rematch of this. So, that's really exciting.
Yeah. I want to see this comp again. I don't know if that's going to happen because I think they're going to get banned out. I mean, you ban the Akali for sure. But I want to see, because in theory, it's a very fragile lineup for our blue team, Team Camille, with the Akali on them. But on the other hand, if you kill the opponents so quickly, being fragile doesn't really matter. I mean, the kill potential is ridiculous.
I was
And you saw it
really.
there. It was just borne out.
Do
in
you
that
think
game.
Hitman ever gets to play Akali again?
I mean, you shouldn't.
that
I don't.
wasn't
I
my
mean,
question, Daniel.
I mean, in this tournament, I don't think so. Maybe in the future.
I think our big takeaway should be that Hitman, just incredible gameplay. And
I mean, okay, my takeaway is different though. I mean, remember I mentioned Akali, Diana, Ezreal, Evelyn. That foursome is ridiculous at killing people. And look at their damage numbers. They're like basically even. They're just like the 4-man hit squad just destroying people there.
I would also say, like, just in terms of drafting, you have to look at what Akali are trying to do. They've also built a pick squad, but it is the kind of pick squad that thrives into control mages, right? It's the kind of pick squad that wants to harass people who aren't prepared to be CC'd at range. You're never going to get the chance to CC a Diana, Akali, Evelyn come.
I tried to. I don't know if I really expressed it very well, but that's what the point I was trying to make when we looked at we were like in the middle of the game. I was like trying to explain the drafts, and it's like both these teams are trying to pick, but one team is way better at doing it than the other one.
And oh my, did that become apparent as the game went on. We're going to tally up the standings, make sure that we're right about what that final is, and then I believe we do have the best of 3 ahead of us.
Oh, I don't realize that's what we're doing. Anyway,
I think so.
Let me just put
I can double check the server right now.
Even on the score screen, I'm like so confused. Okay, so Akali, the team with Camille, they lost. Okay, I'm like trying to make sure I get this right.
So, do you have that bracket fully updated now, or?
I don't have the other game. They haven't.
Let me get you the results from their game. Round 3, match 2.
No, they haven't filled it in yet.
No results listed. Yeah, I was looking at the Discord server to see if it had been posted yet. But it doesn't look like it. Would that affect the results? Is there a way that affects the results?
I don't think so. So the other teams were Amumu and Ash, right? Ash for sure not, because they're 0-2. Amumu, if they win, they would be 2-1. And we'd have a 3-way tie.
Then we have tiebreakers, baby.
Oh boy.
I don't know how that works.
No, there are no tiebreakers. Because if IraqiZorro, if Team Ash is 0-3, then
right.
The 3 2-1 teams by definition would have had to beat each other.
Yeah.
Just by definition.
So there's no go to a tiebreaker system, and I don't know what that is, but
whoever
this is supposed to be the bracket screen. You may or may not notice. There we go. So here you go. Here you can see what we're kind of puzzling through. The final match that hasn't been recorded here is Amumu v Ash, and we don't have the results.
Ash. No, we just got it. Someone just filled in that Team Ash is 0-3, so they lost. Which means we do have 3 2-1s.
Then we got to sort through some tiebreaker contingencies. So I'm gonna leave that up to the admins. That's a somebody else problem, and we'll come back when they sorted that out. Until then, we're gonna grab some water and come back with the grand finals of the second in-house tournament here at IraqiZorro's The Circle. Give me a final word while I'm struggling to set this up, Daniel.
One word?
That was 2.
Okay. No, you said circle.
Disciple. Hit man underneath the turret. They're both dead. Rejected. Ooh. Destiny right into the encore. That doesn't go well for Sly. They're in huge trouble. Deceive caught the moonfall. And that's going to be Team Camille dominating here. Not much you can do about that. They'll turn those kills and low HP bars, at least attempt to, into the Drake. Here comes Black Camel around the side. No HP. Lux. Black Camel into the pit. Gets the steal. Will go down immediately after. Sly follows. So 3 kills in total to Team Camille. But Akali get the moral victory. And the Drake team, Ali lands the Hextech ultimatum, but can't get anything from it because Hitman breaks free and finds instant double kill. Nearly a triple, confirms the triple with a dive behind the turret. Black Camel will try and find a turn. Indeed, there is very low HP on Kansu. The Seraphine, Hitman tanking a turret shot. Reads Black Camel. Oh, he's just gone. So if this upset happens, then we go all the way. Moonfall, Sly is dead. That's big. Allah is down as well, and it is a clean house. This upset is happening.
We got plenty of rooms, just pick one. We got sandals used in the middle of June while the J-Box playing our favorite tune. Don't wanna stuck in this situation. I live my life like a revolution. No, I don't wanna wait, no. 'Cause I don't wanna wait no more. No. No, I don't wanna wait, no. 'Cause I don't wanna wait, no. No, I don't wanna wait, no. 'Cause I don't wanna wait no more.
delirious? Can I get serious? What lies on the horizon, horizon before us? My heartbeat calls your name. Can anybody feel the same? Covered by the twilight, it's alright. We are pushing ahead, all your worries be gone. We are running straight out into the wild, following the dancer, searching for an answer. We are running straight out into the wild, running on, running on, you know. Into the wild, running on, come on, come on. Into the wild, running on, yeah. Into the wild, running on, come on, come on. Into the wild again. Tell me, when does it end? My heartbeat calls your name. Covered by the starlight, it's alright.
Oh, you have the strangest way of loving someone, and it feels like it's all over before it has begun. Oh, but when we do collide, we're playing no games. Don't you know that kind of love? Let's go down in flames. Oh, we should really leave this one alone, but it keeps coming back, coming back, coming back. Two arms on the floor, bandit on the store. Two lovers, one more. It's such a hopeless situation, but we do it again. Oh, we do it again. Say what normal people do. We're often on like a light switch. You treat me like a punching bag. You better make it count. Oh, it's like the wise man said, the love is for no one. Love is a blind man who must be set free. Two arms on the floor, bandit on the store. Two lovers, one more. It's such a hopeless situation, but we do it again. Two arms on the floor, bandit on the store. Two lovers, one more. Oh, it's such a hopeless situation, but we do it again. Leave this one alone, but it keeps coming back, coming back, coming back. Oh, we should really leave this one alone, but it keeps coming back, coming back, coming back. 2 hours on the floor,
You better wake me up, wake me up.
blood ain't on the sword.
Gotta rip it off, rip it off.
Two lovers, one more.
It's a beautiful life, Daniel. And what that means for us is we get tiebreaker 1v1s. So, the way this worked is, obviously, we did a 3-way tie. So they rolled some dice, and one of the teams randomly got a bye to the finals. That was Selmore's team. And one of the teams instead, and the other two teams are going to play a 1v1. The conditions are their two team captains are going to play in the mid line. The first one to get 2 armor plates, 2 turret plates, first blood, or the one to have more gold at 5 minutes wins.
Got it.
And if you win the 1v1, you go to the finals to play Selmore's team.
Nice. All right, who are our captains?
Let me get them back for you. So this is Sly versus Hitman. Sly, of course, playing for Team Akali. Let me get this all down. Akali.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm rooting for Hitman because I want to see
versus-
that.
Hitman is not the
Wait.
captain, but he has been volunteered as tribute. He's playing on Team Camille, right?
Because I remember he's the Akali on Team Camille.
Yes.
So this is a rematch of the last game we saw, I think. Am I wrong?
Correct. And it was the 1v1 that defined that last game, so there you go. All right. It's pick time.
I wonder who he's picking. I wonder. Oh wait, Soju Rain's picking Akali. Wait, can they pick the
Ooh.
same person?
They swapped Soju in as the tribute. That's actually really fun. Okay. So Soju is playing for Team Akali.
As Akali.
Correct. And it is blind pick, so they can both be picking Akali.
Okay. Are we gonna have an Akali off?
I hope so.
We are. We are. Except Hitman's skin is better, so I think he wins.
By default. There aren't very many Akali skins in the game. It's a rough time for the weeaboos. I think that the fact this tournament has come down to an Akali 1v1, at least in terms of who makes it to finals, it couldn't be better.
It's very apt. I agree.
I was struggling
Right.
just now to get everything
Okay,
locked.
so recap. First blood, 2 plates off the turret, or whoever has the most gold at 5 minutes, just to make sure that we
Correct.
end this in 5 minutes or less. But I'm not likely it's gonna go to 5 minutes though.
Correct.
Watching Akalis fight each other is actually so dumb. I realized. Oh, my
Auto
goodness.
attacks. The kunai trade, Daniel. Minion waves are even, but there's a slight advantage. Hitman shoving under the turret.
Yeah,
Oh, but he masters
like-
the CS. Look at that. Shoju.
nice.
Keeping it even. Oh, into the smoke veil. Cooldown advantage for Shoju. Hitman so
Shoju.
low. Ignited. Barrier forced. It's going to be
That's actually
okay.
Really big. I think. Thing is, Soju still has his honey fruit, so Hitman kind of needs to go back unless he can just clutch this.
You can't back. No recalls.
Oh, you can't recall. Oh, okay, I didn't know. Which means Soju is in a pretty big lead.
I just
his
want to
level
play the
3.
Mortal Kombat theme song, but I didn't have enough prep time. Oh. See, Hitman's blowing a lot of his cooldowns really early, which I think is really good Akali mechanics normally. But I wonder if it's going to cost him here, because we already saw the cooldown trade kind of go against him because of that.
The double circle proc. I don't know what's called the passive, basically. It's really funny to see.
CS lead still in Hitman's corner. That could matter if we go 3 more minutes.
Wait, he came back.
You
He's backing.
you can't recall, Hitman. He's trying to recall. You can't go into the jungle, Hitman. He's chafing against the restrictions. Oh!
See how Hitman gets.
Oh! He missed CS!
If Hitman comes back in this, I swear he is like the best ever because he's so low in health. I mean, that's like basically it's an entire like fan of kunai, whatever it's called.
Oh, he missed those knives as well. Is Hitman just stalling out at this point? Is that the right tactic? There's the dive in. He's low on cooldowns. Ignited again. Will escape behind the turret.
Yeah, he didn't have an ult though, and he's super low. I think Soju. I mean, this is over, right? I guess Soju uses it as well.
Now has his CS lead. Perfect execution.
Yeah.
But he can't land it.
Really?
The honey fruit's back up.
Just dive him. Just come on, Soju. Like he's like what? He's like one hit away. Just dive him. Literally doesn't matter if you die yourself.
Oh, sorry. I did just get a note from IraqiZorro. You can recall. So there you go.
I think I would recall if I were Hitman because you're kind of screwed otherwise. Like just even if you're behind a little bit in gold. Wait, if you can, I would recall 100% because you get the item. Can you not buy items?
But you lose CS if you do that, right? You're so far behind in CS.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, no
gonna
turret plates taken. Gold advantage. Back over to Hitman. Can he get a cheater recall out here? No.
Just do it. Like,
but losing an entire wave loses you the game if we go 5 minutes. We've just gone 4 minutes, Daniel.
Yeah,
there's the dive. Hitman in for the first time.
You have to go for the kill.
Both smoke veils burned. Shuriken will land. Hitman to a quarter.
He can then buy it. He could buy an entire tier 3 item and like boots and crap. Like you just win the 1v1. You just kill him.
Does he have time?
Of course.
There's the dive! Oh, he's dead! Soju dives to the turret! Hitman! You are kidding me!
That was really well done by Hitman, but that was a throw by Soju, I gotta say.
I tried to hit the replay button. I did not prep the replay. Hold up. Oh,
no.
All right, I got it.
Soju could have... There was a much better chance to dive, and Soju did not take it. Oh my goodness.
All right, I've got the replay. Hang on. Slow motion. We're hitting process. Okay, so because Hitman won, that means that Team Camille will advance. Could you go ahead and give them a bonus point on the bracket just to bump them into the finals?
In the group stage?
Yeah, you can just go into any of the game scores and give them an extra point.
Okay, I'll try.
Oh, they're the ones that are automatically slated to advance anyway, so it doesn't matter. Battlefy.
We're good.
Rigged by Battlefy.
Challenge they knew all along. They're like, why are we even doing this? We just know.
So there you go. I did get that replay ready. Hang on. Here we go. Oh, this isn't the right replay?
I was gonna say. I love how you have it in slow motion too.
Did generate a replay of an Akali 1v1. I don't know what more you want from me. Alright, here we go. Hopefully this is the right one. Very hard to do all this on the fly. I apologize. Replay and go. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so Hitman is not one attack from dying at this point. Earlier he was. Earlier he was one hit from dying, which is when I wanted Soju to go in and try to finish him off. So Soju goes in now. Hitman has his barrier, right? So Soju tries to go in, get the ignite off, and kill him. But Hitman has his barrier, and he's beneath turret.
Is this a summoner spell diff? Because Hitman went barrier instead of flash?
Oh, no, I think that they both have flash. Oh, no, he has... Oh, yeah, he has ignite and barrier. Yeah, that's right. That's
right. Soju kitted for the 1v1. Oh, that shuriken dodge! The shuriken flip! That was so good, Hitman. That was genuinely sick.
Yeah, Hitman deserves to win here. But it was still a throw by Soju. I mean, not like it. He dove when he didn't have a minion wave. Before, okay, is there a way to go all the way back? Because there was a point when Hitman had like that much health, basically, But
I didn't
there were
save
like
it as a replay. I
5
apologize.
there were like 5 minions on the turret, like in turret range, so he didn't have to immediately take the first turret shot, which is huge because you could just go in and get the damage in, right? Maybe he thought that like Hitman had his veil up or something, and he didn't want to go in then. But still, I don't know. I think I would have at least tried for it. But there was a situation where Hitman had like one bar of health, and there was a substantial minion wave, and Soju didn't go in. I was like very confused, and then he goes in now when he doesn't
he's
have the
at
minion
a
wave.
time, right? Hitman's out CSing him.
True. Well,
Wow. And flashes the question mark emote instantly. Doesn't get much better than that. That'll be our 1v1. Did you update the bracket?
I thought you said it was already fine.
Yeah, that means I need to push us through to the final. End group stage is the button I just pushed. Let's see what that does to a pretty overweight. Oh my
It
god.
looks like I have a tattoo.
Daniel, when
tattooed
did
my
you
arm
join the
during the break.
mafia? What do you... You will not believe what our bracket page looks like now. There you go.
I just want to see the same comp as we saw in the previous game.
Yeah.
Just
Best-
all assassins.
I just want to see.
I'll pick
I
them.
just want to see a rematch, man. That was such a good game.
It isn't. It doesn't rematch them.
Yeah, we're not going to get that. Instead, it's going to be Selmore's Team Amumu versus Tybes Team Camille. The best of one to decide everything, Daniel. Place your bets right now while the players are watching because they had tuned into the 1v1. Make some enemies.
Wait, what? What's happening? Sorry.
Who's
I was just,
winning?
trying to make sure. Okay. Well, Selma won the last time they played. We saw that in game number 2.
Uh-huh.
But after the other 2 games we watched of Type, they were dominant. So I'm gonna go with them. Also, I want to see them go with the all assassin comp again.
You think Type win is your call?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's not what I would have said on stream while all the players were watching, but yeah. I would have hedged my bets. I don't know who's gonna win, Daniel. They're all my friends. We'll be
Well,
back
as
with the
people who are
grand
very-
finals. We'll broadcast it here. If you did want any VODs from today, they'll be on my YouTube, which are below the stream. If you're looking for VOD review, don't panic. The VODs on Twitch are locked. I make sure to upload all the in-house VODs to YouTube. All right.
So they already panicked.
They already panicked? That's sad. All right, then. Let's go grab some water. I know you want some food, and we'll be back with the finals in a moment.
And I can't seem to adapt. And somebody told me that you felt the same way since we went. Why won't you give me a call? We'll ride on those waves again. And I can wait through a storm, 'cause without you it wouldn't be the same. Last night I was dreaming out loud. California sun was making my eyes dry. Can we still make it happen? It's worth a try. Oh, and I might keep on dreaming out loud. It's a beautiful life, staying under blue skies. And next year in the winter, let's give it a try. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight. Yeah, I'll be dreaming out loud tonight. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight.
If I
tell me something new? You waited for someone to save you and left me all alone. I wanna tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall, but the only hurt was me. It's the longest night of my life, and the longest goodbye I've cried. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. When you love someone, you just can't stop. Spin the wheels until they drop. Don't you wish I would have been someone else? I wanna fill your gap without making a mess. And you tell me something new. You waited for someone to save you and left me all alone. I wanna tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall, but the only hurt was the most humble possible way, and the strongest way I can say. I wish you all the best I can. Then I stop myself for a while. I'm saying things I don't believe. The facts rising up in me. You won't tell me something new. You waited for someone to save you and left me all alone. I wanna tell you something new. You drove us both into
It is game time, Daniel. And by that, I mean it's time to play some games. And by that, I mean it's time to watch somebody else play some games. My name is Tj, joined by Daniel, Dtwo, Akuda. Our grand finals have begun.
That they have. I have nothing to add. Just I'm gonna let you keep going.
All right. Well, I'm on some energy today. I could not describe the energy I'm bringing to this broadcast, but I would say
I
I'm
don't think
bringing
anyone
it.
can.
Team Amumu over on the left, led by Salomon. Ziggs, Garen, Evelyn in their first cycle. Interesting, Evelyn wasn't banned. Let me check on that. Bans were Katarina,
Was Diana banned?
Camille, Akali, and Diana.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Diana had to have been banned here because she's been so good that even with Ziggs making it through, I was doubting whether that was gonna be the pick.
So, Evelyn hits the rift. They'll complete their very brawly comp here. This is really fun. They've got a ton of poke, and then Evelyn to kind of clean it up. Ziggs, Janna, Ezreal all want to just sit at range and throw out spells. You knock people low, and then Evelyn comes around the back and just executes people. Camille on the opposite side. Team Camille, that is. Grab themselves Gragas Braum, Twisted Fate, Kai'Sa, and that Olaf. Could work with this comp. Would feel a little out of place, to be honest, but yeah,
I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed we're going from Hitman on Akali to Hitman on Gragas. It's just like, oh, just like a very sad noise is coming out right now.
I mean, after you win the 1v1 to get your team into finals, is there really anywhere to go?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Maybe you've just
what do you
mastered
mean
the
by-
character, Daniel. Why would you ever play her again?
Well, because you win the game if you do.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, she's banned, right? So.
See, I'm not familiar with the whole winning thing, so.
Yeah, that's why we're commentating. We're commentating.
Correct. At least till you get a job working on tennis. The bot lane is one of the more interesting ones here because you do have that Janna Ezreal duo that I've started to see take the main stage here in Wild Rift competitive. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I need to see more Janna in actual games. Because she's been underwhelming to me a little bit. I don't know. I think I guess most teams kind of fall back on Janna, right, after Alistair and Braum are out. But they've gone for just straight up going for Janna this game rather than going for the Alistair. I know that there isn't any particular synergy between Alistair and Ezreal, but I don't know. I just like having the big beefy boy in front.
No, they work very well together. I think you're right to flag that as a duo. I do prefer the... When it is available, I do prefer Ezreal with somebody who's going to get value from roaming. Because to me, one of the big upsides of Ezreal is he's very hard to pin down underneath the turret. So you can get away with having people who can't protect him as well. Which is why Janna Ezreal works for me. But Janna's not going to be accomplishing very much with that freedom. She's just going to be trying to poke in lane. Try and be the operative word, as Jackie absolutely shreds this army in their first outing.
By the way, Garen has suddenly become like a very popular pick over in the side of the top lane.
Which is wild, because it's not fun to play Garen.
They were like, fine, I'll go with the Garen if it's good for the team. The thing is, like, Gragas was picked up pretty early. And Garen's not great into Gragas. Right, Garen's a little better into like your typical assassin types. He can kind of just soak the damage and play neutral there, then be a bit better in the team fight situation.
Oh, Mali in huge trouble. Gold card up, starting stunned up. Tables have been turned. Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Oh my goodness! I was about to say, typically you don't see a Ziggs try to chase someone down, right? He gets his damage and he runs away, but that's exactly why you don't see it very often, because sometimes you get the turn, and once the gold card came up, it was lights out.
I cannot fathom that 1v1. Chomp is setting up here on the top side. Hitman,
none the wiser.
Ought to be. Now he's put it together. We'll speed out. No thank you.
Huh. It does have to burn a flash, though, so that's something. Though, if you're Trump, I think you'd rather have the kill than burn a flash.
I don't think I can go into replay here because Tybe is setting up here in mid. Starting ought to have the wave clear. Tybe still gets very close. Cyclone will land. Gold card will land. A second kill in the mid lane. Here comes Chomp now for the trade. 1 for 1. Won't get more.
I feel like they could have gotten that kill a little bit cleaner.
Okay.
The red team, Team Camille. I think they could have gotten that kill a little bit cleaner and then prevented Tybe from actually dying there. Like, I don't know. The jump wasn't completely synchronized, and I feel like if it was, then Tybe would have gotten away with a lot less damage. Oh, this fight's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry. So, like, about a half a patch ago, because they put it in like decimal points now, like 2.21 BCG. Twisted Fate got a buff on his gold card, which is now 1.25 seconds stun, which TJ is a long time. 1.25 seconds is quite the stun.
That's enough time to think about your career choices.
And then flash it away because Ziggs is coming for you.
Yeah. And he's like, do I really want to play Twisted Fate, man? Came to the realization, yeah, I do. But he had time to think about it. That's what's important.
Yeah, and without the gold card, you wouldn't be able to think about it.
I ran a poll in Twitch chat to determine who was going to win the next game. You'll be interested to know that 2 people voted and they didn't agree. So we are none the wiser.
Well, I don't think the poll would have made us wiser regardless.
When Twitch chat says something, Daniel, let me tell you, I listen.
And then do the opposite.
Sometimes. I didn't say it informed my decision making. I said I listen. Starting's got the poke here as our first Drake does come up. Starting's positioning, along with a ward in the pit, does reveal to Team Amumu that the Camille side has 3 players, now 4 in the area. Their 5th player, Mali, is shoving in the middle wave, but does have the destiny to get in here. Oh, Jackie! Why are you all alone at the bottom of that fight? They just die.
Well,
80 carry out of the fight. Stun will land, but it's onto Selmore, so... Can they burst that down? Yes! Glacial Fissure! Oh, that's huge! Mega Inferno Bomb to follow through. Will have very, very low HP on several members, but D'Enzio is still up and kiting. Back to the Honey Fruit. Low HP across the board. D'Enzio on the Hitman. Stunned up by the gold card. Starting. Rejects Hitman's escape. Finds the kill. Time in trouble as well. This is disastrous, but Mali finds another gold card and Mali into the bush. Playing with fire here as Chomp approaches. Will land the gold card and get a parting kill before they're finally shut down. Jackie will die for a second time. And this fight has been a disaster for Team Camille.
wait, no, has it?
Okay, well, it's been a
chaotic.
disaster for everyone, but Team Camille especially?
I don't think any team came out ahead at the end of that. I think it was just a bunch of... It was just a clown fiesta all around. Through and through. Just 100% clown fiesta that fight. I can't even analyze that for you, TJ. I just like... other than Molly is just a god. That's all I can say. Is Molly is actually just god.
Yeah,
But other than
Molly's
that,
playing a sick, twisted fate.
other than that, that fight was all over the place. Oh boy.
Molly, maybe the only victor. Actually, no. I got to lose a fraction of my will to live, so I also won.
The thing is, that is exactly the fight that Twisted Fate excels in. Just situations where you're fighting one person at a time, multiple times, because he's great at killing one person. The problem with Twisted Fate is that he can't do just massive AoE damage like a lot of the other premier mid laners can. But if you're trying to kill one person, Twisted Fate is your man, and you got a lot of 1v1 team fights there.
Yeah.
So this started off. Jackie just goes out before she can even do anything. I say she because it's Kaita. And then for some reason, Garen just like dies in an instant as well. Then they're trying to chase Zio under this turret, but in comes starting to help out matters. And all of a sudden, Hitman's extremely low because Zio was just wailing on him. And then Time's got to get out of there. And then that leaves Molly by himself, but he gets a solo kill. And then while they're trying to fight him in the bush, he gets another kill onto the Ezreal, just as a parting gift.
I've dropped us out of the replay early because we are setting up for this Drake again. And I'd rather err on the side of catching everything.
Of watching, actually watching.
Selmore will kind of abuse the Garen HP pool here. We do have all 10 players on the bottom half of the map. 2 recalls as D'Enzio and Asami reset.
Oh, did they catch that? Okay, it looks like Team Camille didn't catch that. So if they had, they might have been able to make something happen and kind of force the Drake really quick, but instead they're going to get it played, or not.
Glacial Fissure is coming out. Selmo to half HP. Oh! Knocked forward the true shot. Mega Inferno Bomb! A 1-for-1 trade is denied as Selmo escapes. Asami very low, but the backline dive from Chop nearly picks up Molly. Hitman will slip away. And at the end of all of that time, the jungler for Team Camille is the only player to die. That may change.
Oh, we had 2 kills in that fight though. So it
Hitman
was 6-6 going in.
poking in. Will be a lot of trouble. Selma at the very, very front. This turret is going to go down. There's your second kill, spiritually. But no, I believe Todd was the only player to die.
No, it was 6-6 going into that fight, and then now it's 8-6. So
I will
I'm pretty
pull
sure
up
there
the
were 2 kills
replay and we can fact check.
there. So Team Camille, the red team, they lost both of the kills in that fight, and somehow they get the turret. I'm not sure how that happened. I saw Hitman just walking up, and he I could see what Hitman was seeing. He's like, huh, there are 2 people right there immobilized for me to throw my ult on, and just completely put him out of position. And he did that. It was a good ult. It seemed like the blue team was completely screwed, but then a lot of damage comes out. An amazing ult comes out from the Ziggs to finish off. But then they can't do anything after that. Again, just chaos.
Here you go.
Brahm's dead, and Wukong's dead.
You're right. Kansui dies at the very beginning of that. I shall never challenge you again, Daniel.
I mean, I was just looking at the numbers. I'm like,
I don't look at numbers.
100%
That's my
6-6.
secret.
You mean your downfall.
Hitman.
Um,
Oh, good cask. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Destiny from Mali will reveal the exact positioning of everyone on Team Momo. We'll see what they do with that information. 4v5 here, and Camille still step into it. Yet again, Kansui will die. Now they're going to try and back away. Very low HP. Jackie just raining in the damage. We'll be able to find a 1-for-1 trade. Dienzio and Selmo both down now. Time goes down in trade. Marley still alive. Focus down. And the 4th kill is found. Chomp able to clean things up. Team Amumu able to take the win.
that was an extremely good monsoon. So we had Tybe come in, try to pop the Cyclone. Immediately, Asami just like waved his finger like, no, get out of here. Pop the monsoon. Everyone's back. There goes your engage. And that was a team fight there for the blue team, Team Amu. The funny thing is though, every time these team fights go terribly for red, and every single time Molly like almost saves it for them, or does save it for them, one of the two. I've never seen an Evelyn have more trouble killing a mid laner. And Molly just turns around, turns on top every single time. He's like, I will not die to you, mister. It took the entire team to take down Molly that time.
Yeah, Molly's playing incredibly well. This is maybe the most effective Twisted Fate I've seen, period.
Yeah, and really just using his stuns to perfect effect every single time. Every single time he gets a stun off, half their life is chunked off. Yeah, so look at this monsoon. Just, oh, sorry. Nice cyclone you got there. It'd be a shame if it didn't land on anyone. And then
I
Molly's
also
just
think
doing so much damage in the bag.
we're just seeing such an incredibly slow game here,
Yeah.
which is really fascinating. You know, no risks being taken. I was trying to get back into control in time. Molly does die on the top side. Time will slip away.
Yeah.
Down a player, down a significant amount of gold. Team Camille absolutely can't lose Jackie again. Flash over the wall. Jackie will survive. Kansui able to bail Jackie out. True shot hunting. Megan Vertibomb will find the kill. Jackie is dead from across the map.
And here comes the blue team. They're actually finally starting to make some progress here. Maybe they can get a couple of turrets. And they've already gotten the first one in the mid lane, which is the all-important one, as we all know.
Time will flash over the wall to escape. Chomp and
Or will
Selmore
he?
both hunting.
Doesn't...
Normally I'd say
Oh.
Wukong gets away from these. Chomp forced to stasis to stay alive. Clone.
Oh! The clone back up. There's no way.
I think he's gotten away. A fight breaks out in the meantime, though, and his team's not winning it. Here comes Selmo and Chomp. Marley is dead again. We praised him too much, and Chomp's able to find another with a deep dive behind the turret, leaving Hitman all alone here on the top side. Jackie for the cut-off, but those Mega Inferno bombs
to run.
continue to be on point. And this is now a pretty devastating lead for Team Momo.
Yeah, 6k gold, but given how close this game has been the entire time, that is a pretty massive advantage. You know, I think I figured out why this game is, like you said, so slow and disjointed and so chaotic. It's because these team comps don't make any sense. None of them are very cohesive. None of them fit together. They're not like super poke comps, not very like super like, you know, assassin-y finish off comps. Teams are just having a hard time finishing off kills, with the exception of these last few minutes where, you know, one side has just gotten ahead. But I think I figured out why this has been such a weird game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what a gold lead does at this point. Mali really stepping forward to try and do something about this, but Chomp just walks in.
By the way, is Lichbane common on... I don't play Twisted Fate, so I don't even know. Is Lichbane common on Twisted Fate? Because it's working really well for him.
I couldn't
that's
tell you
why he's
enough
been able
about
to get...
Twisted Fate. Okay, Asami in trouble.
Oh, hello.
Hitman
Goodbye.
won't be able to find the kill.
Because I think that's
mid
the reason
lane,
why he's been able to chunk
starting
people
and
down so hard.
D'Enzio are trying to trade this out. Oh, Destiny in. Kansui slowing things down. 1-for-1 trade. D'Enzio in exchange for Kansui. But it's not going to be enough. They find the stun onto Selmo as well. But, oh my lord, a full combo deployed. Type does find a good engage, but the Monsoon denies it. He's charmed up, knocked into GA. And that should be the easy kill. Type down. And yet again, the positive trade for Team Momo.
Yeah, you're seeing Molly just kind of fall off here. You know, despite how dominant he was in the early game, he really can't carry his team. If this were, you know, another kind of late scaling mage, he could maybe just, you know, win the game by himself. But he's having a really hard time as Twisted Fate here, unfortunately.
And
By the way, was Janet picked after the Wukong? Or Wukong was picked last, wasn't he? Yeah, Wukong was picked last. I was gonna say, because this Monsoon has been a really good counter to the Cyclone engage.
yeah, multiple times the Monsoon's just been able to deny any kind of entry. Because the only assassin, the only backline threats they have are Wukong and, I suppose, technically Twisted Fate, if you can find a good gold card. And the Wukong can be denied pretty cleanly by a lot of the kit that is available for Team Momo. And their carries are Ziggs and Ezreal, both of whom are fairly slippery. So there's no threat onto their damage dealers.
Yeah, I think what you said was definitely spot on. There's just not another secondary source of, you know, assassin damage, right? Like once Wukong gets denied, there's no one else to just jump in and take advantage of the fact that they're defenseless. So if they had like an Akali, for instance, which, you know, that's why you ban him, but, you know, if they had picked someone else who can kind of get in there and do the damage after Wukong gets denied, then I think this would be a completely different game.
Here is an opportunity developing in the mid line, because we're placing on the Baron, which means
By the way, Chomp
nobody's taking risks.
Chomp is 10-0 and 8. I just realized.
You're correct
It's
about that.
It's quite the stat line.
And that was where I was going. Down tempo moments like that we just saw in the mid lane are kind of the only opportunities that Team Camille has to get back into this game. They're so far behind in gold at this point. Their comp doesn't scale particularly well.
They're down a significant amount of gold, but it is the late game, so, you know, 8k in the situation is only, you know, like 10%. It's not like ridiculous. So I think they can come back here. The bigger problems they have is just their comp problems, right? Like they have less scaling. I think that's the bigger problem here. Oh, hello.
Turret dead.
God.
Mega Inferno Bomb.
Oh, Ziggs, stop it.
You're fighting in
Ziggs,
the late
stop it.
game, Ziggs. Oh! And the Fed Ezreal.
Ziggs just literally did like 6,000 damage in that fight. He just poured it out. It came gushing out of him. Like he had a leaky faucet or something. He's just like, here's some damage, have it.
Did you see that Mega Inferno Bomb True Shot combo again?
I mean, honestly, yeah, good job by Zio, but I'm just talking about Ziggs right now. Like, he just threw out all of his buttons, and then the last button, his ultimate button, and then the entire team just had to go back to base. The entire team.
Yeah. And also just one-shot the turret on the way there, which
Yeah, while he's at it.
has been a portion, at least, of the team's significant and intimidating gold lead. Can you one-shot a Gragas? Good defensive cask. Hitman stays ahead of the charm. Very well played.
Oh, I think if Red Team saw that Ziggs wasn't with the team, they could have just jumped that. But obviously, there's a good reason for them being so cautious. There's a ward there. Let's kill that ward, please. Thank you.
I thought that was... No, those were some Gragas mechanics. Not something you say every day.
Gragas is
around the
surprisingly like technical. Oh, Jackie. Oh no, she's so low.
Tj and Dtwo will go right into the front lines. Meantime, though, full focus on a Hitman. Into stasis they stay. Can't see. Oh, good Glacial Fissure, but the Monsoon again freezes the fight, resets the HP. Jackie gets shut down by a Mega Inferno Bomb, and that will be the fight. Tribe over the wall. Type knocked into GA. Not safe while starting. Finds a double kill. Oh, make it 3. No, denied by Hitman, but he's still able to find Molly over the wall for his 3rd. And that means it is a 4-on-2 as the base is going to be approached.
Ziggs starting playing Assassin Ziggs at in that fight, just chasing people down and finishing them off left and right. He bit off a little more than he could chew when he jumped with Explosive Fruit into Hitman, and Hitman says, thank you very much, I'm going to end you right now with little Ziggs, and just kind of smacked him. But that was just hilarious to see. No, can we go back to the... Hello?
Sorry.
Observer TJ?
Observer TJ was multitasking. The client has an awful habit of just cutting away from things, so I was like, I'm gonna leave the camera on the Elder and everything will be great. And the client was like, psych. I apologize.
Let's look at this blank space over here. Just to recap that team fight, it seemed like it was a chaotic team fight, which works more to Red's favor. It gives them a better chance, right? When things are more organized, it feels like the damage just pours out of the blue team. However, somehow, I don't know how they did this. I don't know if they coordinate or not, but somehow blue team just managed to reconvene, and they all came back into the middle, and somehow the Monsoon hit everyone. They're all healed, and I was like, that was really weirdly well done. Like synchronized, they just came together as a team, and then from there it was over.
Starting. Just took no damage! Time and Kansu fall. Kansu actually slips away. It was his clone that died. That was a full combo onto starting, and they took no damage. Salmo will now be thrust underneath the turret. Also unaffected. Charges into the base. Finds the kills. The inhibitor turret falls. And Team Amumu will be your 2nd ever Circle in-house tournament champions as they close out the grand finals in dominant fashion.
Congratulations to Team Amumu. I didn't think they could do it after seeing such a dominant performance from Team Camille earlier on, but they showed why they beat him earlier in the day. And they do it again.
Yeah, really, really clean game there to close things out.
Yeah, to close things out was clean. The start of that game was not clean whatsoever.
Well, you know. You gotta make a gravel road before you pave it.
Yeah. Chomp was definitely clean, though. 12-0-9. Oof, goodness. That was devastating. I gotta say that the entire team was, like, really on point, especially toward the end. Like, Asami getting those Monsoons to pull away, Zio doing a lot of damage, Chomp obviously with an amazing stat line. Starting, we talked about the damage pouring out of him, and then Selma's doing a really good job on the carrying as well. Just as a team, they were really, really nice. Whereas, I think on the side of, on the opposing side, really it was like the Molly show, and Hitman did a couple things, and then Kansi was struggling a little bit, so was Jackie. And then Ty tried to do his thing with the Cyclones, but kept getting shut down. So it's kind of like a 2-man team on the opposing side, whereas I think that for Amumu, they were really cohesive and together and all playing is pretty well.
The most impressive part of all of that to me was exactly how controlled so many of those messy team fights were by Asami's Janna. like, Jana is
Yeah.
supposed to be very weak to that kind of single target focus that is available, right? You're looking at Twisted Fate, Kaisa, Wukong. Jana should be having a bad time, but Asami, 23 assists. A lot of that's not offensive assists. A lot of that's just dropping a monsoon that saves literally everybody in a fight and going home to the bank.
Can you check how much damage Selma took? Yeah, he had the most damage taken. Yeah. So
yes,
he was
damage taken.
when you pick Jana, you really need to have some sort of front line, and that's why they picked the Garen. Also, there's kind of like a pseudo front line with Ziggs, because you just throw out a bunch of bombs and no one can really get close. So it's like you have the pseudo front line in Ziggs, you have the front line in Garen, and that's kind of like how they set up their team. So a little bit more well thought out than I initially give them credit for.
Yeah, I mean, the gold card Kaisa combo is there, like, I don't want to make it look like Team Camille didn't have a game plan. They had the gold card Kaisa
okay.
combo. They're like setting up for this kind of deep dive, set up, find the pick, which isn't crazy into the comp they're facing. But Amumu didn't stop with just having like one or two poke characters. It just got more and more pokey as they went on through their draft.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you're looking at Camille's team, you have the early pick potential with Twisted Fate, but he falls off, right? Because you really want to have the AoE damage as your late game carry. And they figured, okay, we're going to bridge to the late game because that's when Kais is going to pop off. Unfortunately, when they got to the late game, it turns out the other team had more poke, right? Usually Kais is the one who's going to be able to just kind of run things from the back line. Obviously, she has like her killer instinct to kind of jump around, but for the most part, she's just popping off her 1 and her 3 and doing a lot of damage there. But the opposing side just had more poke damage, and then Kais is sitting there like, wait, I thought I was supposed to be the late game champion here.
Yep. Then Ezreal, Dianzio, with the second most damage in the game, of course, behind starting Ziggs, which I learned like 2 months ago. You shouldn't let starting get Ziggs, and that still appears to be the truth. But you have this kind of 1-2 combo of Ziggs and Ezreal, who can just sit at range and provide poke damage.
Don't mind me.
And float away from the team fights when a threat comes their way. Why does this happen to you, Daniel?
I don't know. I just I'm ephemeral like that. I want to see a Ziggs go against a Diana, right? Because
you were insane.
So Diana has gotten to the point where she's ban worthy, right? And obviously Ziggs is as well. I want to see a game where they're both let through and like how that plays out, because it's like the unstoppable. What is it called? The
immovable object, unstoppable force. I feel like because I'm just pulling up the stats here because I feel like there's a very, very good argument to be made for the Ziggs just being able to be blown up in situations like that. But starting actually took a pretty significant amount of damage that game, which is indicative of the fact that they were able to disengage repeatedly. Right. Starting was taking a decent chunk of damage and then being able to get away.
I think for starting, he plays such an offensive Ziggs. He's just kind of in your face. It's kind of like the best defense is a good offense kind of strategy, right? You're just if you're in their face so much, it's hard for them to pin you down, right? Because they're the ones running, and so it's hard to like re-engage. Whereas like if it's like a standard Ziggs just throwing bombs from the back, you know exactly where he is and you know how to set up for that, right? Whereas if he's in your face, you're like, how do I even like attack this? Like if he's in the front, you attack him, and then he retreats. Now you're in a bad position, and then you just die, like you saw in that last fight. So.
No, I think you're right. I'm just genuinely very impressed by the quality of games today. We had some very, very good games and a lot of fun. So that'll close us out, Daniel. Give me a final word for the tournament.
I guess echoing what you just said, it's really fun to see these types of tournaments where players are drafted. Oh, one word. Oh.
I mean, you can finish your point as well.
Okay,
Right.
anyway. The point, when you have these teams that are kind of put together on the fly, you really see, like, okay, in an actual tournament environment with
Mhm.
like teams that are organized, a lot of times you just see too many stomps because one team is just more connected and cohesive than the other. But here you get to see the actual like talent stand out in these little more sloppy games, but more fun in a way because one team's just not getting the runaround the entire time,
Yeah,
and you get to see like actual good teammates in the situation.
I think you're right about that. We are going to have more games next week. I think there is something tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to broadcast it. I think we are going to have more games next week, though. And we will broadcast those here as well. If you're a player who's tuning in to find the VODs, they are locked on this channel, but they will be on my YouTube, which is right below. So you can find all of the video game goodness right down there. Daniel, normally I'd be like, where can they find you? But I got the answer to that question. Boom! Boom!
Yes.
At Daniel Tiakuda on Twitter. I myself am at Esports TJ. That'll be all. Have a great rest of your evening. Tables have been turned! Call an ambulance! But not for me! Uh-oh. Glacial Fissure is coming out. Selmo to half HP. Oh! Knock forward the true shot. Mega Inferno Bomb! A 1-for-1 trade is denied as Selmo escapes. Asami very low. The backlight down from Chop nearly picks up Molly. Hitman will slip away. And at the end of all of that time, the jungler for Team Camille is the only player that died. That may change. 4v5 here, and Camille still step into it. Yet again, Kansui will die. Now they're going to try and back away. Very low HP. Jackie just raining in the damage. We'll be able to find a 1-for-1 trade. Tienzio and Selmo both down now. Time goes down in trade. Marley's still alive. Focused. I think he's gotten away. A fight breaks out in the meantime, though, and his team's not winning it. Here comes Selmo on top. Chop. Marley is dead again. We praised him too much. And Chop's able to find another Selmo as well, but oh my lord, a full combo deploy. Time does find a good engage, but the Monsoon denies it. He's charmed up, not the front lines, meantime though, full focus on the Hitman, into stasis, they stay, can't see. Oh, good Glacial Fissure, but the Monsoon again squeezes the fight, resets the HP. Jackie gets shut down by Mega Inferno Bomb, and that will be the fight track over the wall. Time knocked into GA. Not safe while starting finds a double kill. Oh, making 3, no, denied by Hitman, but he's still able to find Molly over the wall. Starting, just took no damage. Time and Kansu fall. Kansu actually slips away. It was his clone that died. That was a full combo onto starting, and they took no damage. Selmo will now be thrust underneath the turret. Also unaffected. Charges into the base. Finds the kills. The inhibitor turret falls. And Team Amumu will be your second ever Circle in-house tournament champions as they close out the grand finals in dominant fashion.